Hello, Richmond County residents. Celeste Gotell coming to you from the Senior Center Without Walls with the June 14th edition of What's Happening? Activities and events of interest to older adults in Richmond County. We've got a big week coming up, starting on Saturday the 14th. Before I begin, though, I wanted to acknowledge our partner with Gotell Community Television, who have generously been promoting this calendar as a means of people accessing this important information. We've been doing this since November. It's a weekly calendar, and we're very grateful for their ongoing support. You can view the calendar 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. daily. You can also access a printed version of the calendar via social media and on the Richmond County website. And some printed versions are also available at the Richmond County Municipal Office. So we do publish this calendar on a weekly basis on our Facebook page. So if you're on Facebook, please check us out at Seniors Take Action Coalition, because we also promote a number of other important information of interest to folks, like when the emergency room is closed at St. Anne Center and the Straight Richmond Hospital, and a whole bunch of other things. So if you're on Facebook and haven't joined our Facebook group, I encourage you to do so. Richmond County also has a really great section on their website under residents for seniors resources, and we make sure that our calendar is provided to them each month at the beginning of the month. However, changes are made throughout the month because people send me additional information and there's some adjustments. So it's best to check it out on our Facebook page to get the most current edition. Okay, so starting on Saturday the 14th, in Discoos Civic Improvement Hall from 11 to 1 p.m. is the monthly Square Roots activity. Now, that is an activity that provides access to healthy and affordable second produce. You have to register in advance or place your order in advance. However, I have been told that sometimes there is additional produce available at the time. So that's Square Roots from 11 to 1 p.m. That day also in St. Peter's, there's an event called Cake Breton, not Cape Breton, Cake Breton. It's a fundraiser for the Nicholas Dennis Museum, and it's taken place at Louis' Cozy Corner. So for people who really like to decorate cakes and want to make a donation, they can come with their cakes at 11 a.m. Bidding will be from 11 to 2:30 p.m. and then judging will happen at 2 p.m. Now that Saturday, the St. John Center for Art is going to be holding their second annual summer art show and sale. It's called A Visual Journey, and it's taking place from 1 to 4 p.m. and donations are accepted at the door. So you can be viewing the art, the local art, or you can even be purchasing things. Now that evening, Black River Concert Series will be taking place at the Black River Church, and that's Black River Road in Dundee. It's by donation, and there's actually, it's going to be a series, so I'm not sure who's performing for this one, but it's from 6:30 to 8 p.m. So that brings us to Sunday the 15th. Now, Sunday the 15th is Father's Day. So if you want to take your dad out to breakfast, you can do so at the Father's Day breakfast at the St. George's Channel Hall from 8:30 till 11 a.m. Or there's also a cool plate dinner that's happening at the Riverdale Community Center Hall in Low River from 11 to 2 p.m. And there's a Father's Day show and shine mini hut and barbecue at La Picasse in Petit de Gras from 5 to 7 p.m. So that includes music, a barbecue, and desserts. So those are three things that you could do with your dad on Father's Day. I also wanted to mention that June 15th is World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. Now that's a very important day. It's honored throughout the world, and it's an opportunity to become more aware of the issues that are affecting elders and some of the types of abuse that elders may be faced with, everything from fraud abuse to the scams that we hear about to financial abuse. So if you have a computer and you want to check out more information about that, you could just Google search World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. Finally, on Sunday, the 15th, there's going to be a cleanup in St. Peter's along the coastal trail that begins at the Bonnie Bray Seniors Club in St. Peter's at 10 a.m. That brings us to Monday the 16th. So Monday the 16th is a bit of quiet day, but there will be beanbag games at La Picasse in Petit de Gras beginning at 1 p.m. on to Tuesday the 17th. So Tuesday the 17th, the Jolly Club will have their regular weekly sewing group at 9 a.m. Now that will take place throughout the month of June, but they'll take a break through July and August. There'll also be a session called Understanding Dementia with the Alzheimer's Society of Nova Scotia at the West Bay Hall at 10:30 a.m. River Roots Farm Stand will be open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and that's every Tuesday, but you might want to call ahead if you're planning on going later in the day because you never know, they may run out of produce. But typically it's from 10 to 7, provided they have produce available. And River Roots has their weekly lunch with River Roots Meals with Friends, and that's two seatings from 11:30 or 2:30. It's by donation, and you can call ahead to register if you want to attend that. Now, the beanbag toss will happen at the Almadam New Horizons Club at Ayrshire from 7 to 9 p.m. And there's a couple of card games that will be taking place on Tuesday evening as well. 45 card games at the Acadiaville Community Center Hall at 7:30 or the St. George's Channel Hall at 7:30. So that's Tuesday the 17th. On to 18th, which is Wednesday. So the St. George Channel Hall will have their morning coffee. They do that weekly. That's from 10 till 12 noon. There'll also be a comfort tea hosted by the Straight Richmond Palliative Care Society from 1:30 to 4 p.m. And that's the West Bay Community Center. So that's from 1:30 to 4 p.m. and it's hosted by the Straight Richmond Palliative Care Society. So then it brings us to Arlene's digital wellness program through Richmond Literacy. You can access that program from 9 to 4 p.m. at the St. Peter's office. And that's a program to support folks who want some technical support with their laptop, cell phone, tablet, and you can book an appointment with Arlene and she can provide you with that kind of support. Now, also in the afternoon, River Roots will have their community learning gardening. Now, that's every second Wednesday. So this happens to be the week that they're having it. And it's a learning activity. All ages are welcome, but if you're under 12 years old, you are encouraged to come with an adult. The Fleur de Lis Seniors Club in Louisdale has their line dancing with Debbie Morrison from 2 to 4 p.m. And then that evening, the Almadam Historical Society will be having their annual general meeting at Lenoir Landing in Ayrshire at 7:30 p.m. That brings us to Thursday the 19th. So another coffee and conversation, a weekly event that takes place at the West Bay Center from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And then Arlene, again, offering her digital wellness program through Richmond Literacy, this time at the municipal office in Ayrshire from 9 to 12 noon. Great opportunity to get some one-on-one technical support with your laptop, your cell phone, or your tablet. So Cafe Reminence will be taking place at River Roots in River Bourgeois, and that's from 1 to 2:30 p.m. And you can call Rachel to register if you're interested in that. The adult day program, or the adult drop-in, I should say, takes place at the St. Peter's Lions Hall weekly from 1 to 4 p.m. And then that evening, there is a card play at the Discousse Civic Improvement Hall at 7:30 p.m. And that evening, there'll also be the annual general meeting for the St. Anne Center, which begins at 6:30 p.m. And that's happening at La Picasse in Petit de Gras. On to Friday the 20th. So Friday the 20th is the monthly fish fry that's sponsored by the Legion Branch 150 at Ayrshire. That's from 4 to 6 p.m. And it's eat in or take out, and it's $16 per dinner. And then that evening, the Almadam New Horizons Club has a jam session from 7 to 10 p.m. It's $5 to get in, and there's a light lunch that will be provided at that time. That brings us to the end of the week, which is the 21st on Saturday. Wanted to acknowledge that it is National Indigenous Peoples Day that day, and at the St. Peter's Canal from 12 to 4 p.m. There'll be a free barbecue, snow cones, bouncy castle, etc. There'll be music provided by the High Boys and the Eskasoni Women's Drum Group. And then later that evening, there'll be fireworks at 9:30 at the wharf in Pawtucket. There's also a Rhubarb Art Festival taking place at the Grand River Hall that day from 1 to 4 p.m. So it's an afternoon of local art, tea, and desserts. And for those of you that would like to take a stroll, there's a walk with Dr. Nick. Now, Dr. Nick is he's the founder of Heart Health, which is a health promotion program designed to reduce the risk of chronic disease. And this walk will be happening from at 2 p.m. Along the St. Peter's Coastal Trail, and it's about a 2 kilometer walk. And during the walk, Dr. Nick will be talking about things and passing along tips to support good heart health. So that's an interesting thing for folks that might be wanting to take that in. So it's a great week ahead, and the Saturday concludes with an event by the St. John Center for Arts in Aarschot. It's an evening performance at 7 p.m. Featuring Ariana Nassar, I believe is pronounced, and you can get advance tickets free for youth under 18, or you can get tickets at the door for $25. So once again, thanks to Tillil Community Television for their ongoing support of getting out this What's Happening weekly calendar. And I'd like to extend our appreciation to the Department of Seniors and Long-Term Care, who have provided the funding to do our senior center without walls. We really appreciate that. And that's all for today, folks, and we'll see you the next time.